Well, this is also extremely terrible precedent for Pat King. This is the judges, by the way, someone pointed it out before. They're not elected. They're political appointees. I don't know who this judge is, and I don't know who appointed him. There's no other word. It's just disgusting. Now just hear some judge says we'll go off record, and they're going to go back to the other stuff that they had on the docket. Can you imagine how good Moise Karimji feels right now? Can you imagine how despicably good he must feel about himself right now? Willing executioners. Thanking everybody. She's gone back to jail. The hearing will be next week, July 14th. Now the judge makes a joke with the clerk, I guess. How was that? I got done in time. Yeah. Let's yuck it up while we haul an innocent woman to jail. Yeah, it's done. Okay. No one is safe in Canada. If anyone thinks that's being hyperbolic, no one is safe in Canada. And some and I'll say trolls in the crowd, in the chat, lock her up. You think anyone is safe in Canada when it was a peaceful and it was not an unlawful protest? And that's not me talking. That was the judge who issued the first injunctive order in that civil suit. Said what you cannot do, and to the extent that you abide by this court order, you can continue to peacefully and lawfully protest. There was no order of the court, no piece of legislation that determined that protest was unlawful. No one was smashing windows. They were shoveling snow. No one was burning cars. They were assaulting sidewalks. No one was setting fires. Sorry, let me rephrase. There were campfires. There were bouncy castles, hot tubs. The city was not gridlocked. Sorry. The city was not gridlocked. And any court that takes judicial notice of the fear of the citizens and the gridlock of the city, you've taken judicial notice of fake information. Maybe some people were scared. I'll say that anyone who says they were scared, lived in fear, is lying, or probably is scared of their shadow. The gridlock of the city, I drove there to document the nonviolence, to interview the citizens, who confirmed that they were not scared, and other than some noise for the first few days, maybe the first week, it was not that bad. I drove there, never gridlocked. I was in and out. I parked on Eglinton every day. I didn't hit a lick of traffic. I parked on Eglinton, right across the street from the subway. Not the subway, the metro, but the subway, the sandwich place. And I walked the 3 blocks to the protest. And you couldn't even hear the horns honking when I went there the first few days when they were honking horns, until you got within a couple of blocks. This is the biggest load of crap I've ever seen in my life. This is why I can't practice law actively. This is why I can't stomach law. I can't live with this type of injustice. I can't stomach this type of injustice. I can't stomach the fact that this is a cut and dry, obvious case. And not only did it not go the way it should have gone, it went the exact way it should not have gone. Evil has been rewarded because I truly believe Moise Karimjee has evil intentions. Justin Trudeau sitting there rubbing his hands, must be happier than a pig in filth. No politician or man shall tell any woman what she can and cannot do with her body. Straight to jail, Tamara. This is. In my life, I'm just trying to think. In my life in Canada, have I seen more of an injustice than this entire? I can't think of any. I cannot think of a bigger injustice. Not just to an individual people, because this is not Tamara. People have been wrongly imprisoned many times for many reasons. Usually it involves some form of malicious prosecution, underlying biases, or whatever. This is victimizing Tamara, the judicial system, and the nation of Canada. Canada, and I'm not saying Canadians, and I'm not saying peace-loving Canadians, and I'm not saying the citizens that were vocal are victims of this government. The entity, the governmental entity that is Canada, is an absolute disgrace, should be mocked thoroughly by everyone in this world. I've got to tell you, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin should be looking at Canada right now and saying, "Doctor, heal thyself before you ever dare criticize Putin for locking up journalists. Criticize North Korea for sentencing a thief, an alleged thief, to 13 years hard labor after a 1-hour trial." This is a warning for all Canadians not to speak up against the Trudeau government. Understand, people, what is happening. I don't know if I'm causing too much echo. Tamara Lich is going back to jail because she went to an award ceremony that a previous judge authorized her to go to. Took a picture with Tom Marazzo, someone who she was not supposed to communicate directly or indirectly with in the absence of counsel, at a gala organized by her counsel. She whispered in his ear something which we don't know what it was. In a 3-second video, she flaunted her freedom to the world, such that the terrorized innocent civilians of Ottawa who were victimized by this, and by the way, the judge is probably just talking about himself. I felt scared. Scared. It has to have a W in it. Like a 3-year-old kid. I felt scared. The cars were honking. It was an egregious act of disrespect. Flaunting her freedom, pulling down the pants and defecating on the judicial system that warrants, it's going to be 11 days now. It'll be 2 more weeks, 1 month plus, detaining a Métis woman, mother, grandmother, over mischief charges and alleged breaches that are so de minimis, but for this, no one would have known that they occurred. They're worse than breaking my brain. They broke my spirit. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. This is inconceivable. Not a police state. It was not. This is not what was supposed to happen in a free country. This should be Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, the only people who are going to care. Can you imagine if they were to have locked up any other type of protester for this extended period of time? There was an injunction once upon a time prohibiting indigenous protests on the railways. The injunction was violated. The police were not enforcing it. Nobody went to jail because that's cool to protest. It's cool to protest indigenous rights. That's why ultra woke Justin Trudeau included it as an exception to the protests that would be authorized, notwithstanding the invocation of the Emergencies Act. It's cool to protest for Indigenous rights, protest for your own constitutional rights, even if you're Métis, half Indigenous, half European. Not so cool. The Indigenous protests where they were what's the word I'm looking for? Blockading railways across Canada. I don't think anybody went to jail for that. Canada is not a free country. Canada is a banana republic with kangaroo courts being governed by a fascist dictator tyrant that is Justin Trudeau, and he's got all of his henchmen doing his dirty work for him, from the prosecutor to the system, right down the line, to the police who came in armored vehicles, assaulted hero war veterans. And you want to talk about terrorizing people? Terrorized and brutalized its citizenry, who were doing nothing more than peacefully protesting for their constitutional rights. This is an absolute outrage. It's an absolute outrage.